Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the RealNext webinar series. Today, we are focused on operational efficiencies and marketing with the RealNext platform, and together with our new strategic partner, Delius. We have a special guest today, Matthew Smith, and our head of national business development at RealNext, and Obi Wally, co-founder at Delius, with Sam Hergy, his right-hand man, to walk us through how the combined RealNext and Delius platforms can support your deal flow from business development and deal management to financial analysis, presentations, marketing, and now back office functionality for commission management, pipeline management, and commission collections and distribution. Really excited to have you all here with us today. I'm Jeff Finn, CEO, and as always, we'll have about an hour for the program and try to get it wrapped up with about 15 minutes to spare to handle any questions and answers that might come about during the program. A little bit of a different way to approach the session today. Unfortunately, the authentic provider down. So after that, RealNext uses access to the RealNext platform is limited right now. So through some marketing samples and talk through the workflow from CRM into Delius, and then Sam will pick it up and run with a live demonstration of the Delius platform and the back office capabilities there. But together with the CRM, the marketing and presentation engine, and this commission management capability, we have what we believe is the most robust and compelling value proposition in the commercial real estate industry today. And appreciate Obi working together with you and the long-term relationship that we've had, and now coming to fruition with this integration that we've put in place. I think you might want to talk about sort of the size and scale and minimum use profile of this type of deployment and the type of clients this works best for.
Yeah, so first of all, hello everyone, and Jeff, thank you for having us on here today. We're equally as excited about the opportunity to work very closely with RealNext in this strategic sort of partnership and integration of our tools to deliver that sort of one-stop solution to the industry. And you know, with regard to Delius, we've been our company launched back in 2016, really with a core focus on serving the needs of the brokerage community, with our product itself focusing on the back office, you know, really pipeline management, commission tracking, and then the ability to report and manage on not just the company level, but at the individual broker level as well. Fast forward to today, and you know, we have over 150 brokerages that use our product, from national companies all the way down to independent brokerage shops as well. You know, our core sort of audience or client is really at the brokerage level, so it's more of an enterprise-based solution with you know, a typical minimum user requirement of 10 users for the company, and that really is sort of that sweet spot of where the product becomes the most impactful to these businesses. And so what we've been pretty excited about is the ability to continue to scale and grow this business, as well as form strategic relationships like this with RealNext to allow for the overall brokerage industry and community itself to benefit from, you know, two best-in-class products in the marketplace.
Excellent, thanks, Obi. Appreciate that, and glad you're here. What we'll do now, if we could, Matt, if you could pick up and maybe just describe the what you would have been able to show in the CRM and how that drives the day and drives the production of both collateral material and the pipeline that Obi just spoke of, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, so I'll do my best. And Jeff, your camera was kind of, or your microphone was kind of cutting in and out, so that's why I jumped off camera. But I still am here, everyone. Can everybody see my screen here? It should say one incredibly powerful, amazing, simple end-to-end solution. If everybody can see my screen, raise your hand. That'd be great. I want to make sure I'm not having any technical difficulties on my end here. I apologize. There we go. Hey, Guy, you're always coming through. Thanks for letting me share your video. Manny, thanks, buddy. It's good to see you on here. And Nick, appreciate you guys. So again, thanks everybody for coming on here today. So The whole idea is to have one powerful tool that you can go from end to end without duplicating the data. But one thing that's been missing for a little while was the back-end accounting and commission piece. So one of the ideas is to get into a program and kind of start with your CRM. And we wanted a way that we can be able to take it from the marketing side of things. So we always talk about CRM, and we have a bunch of sessions that, we walk through the kind of whole workflow and so forth. So remember, your CRM is going to tie into your marketing center. And today was kind of about, once we get a deal, what do we do? And then how do we market it, and how do we hand it off and finish that whole deal? So, everything kind of starts and stops from the CRM. We have previous videos that will walk you through it. And today we wanted to talk about the marketing collateral. We have exceptional marketing pieces along with fantastic financial analysis. That is going to tie into Dealius at some point in time, where they're going to be able to send that information over into our Market Edge. And I'm going to give you some samples of our marketing branding that wins business and the simplicity that's in that. And then kind of how does that work to track your pipeline, run your reports, and then ultimately, how are you going to get paid? So as you go to the RealNext website, I'm going to click on right on product. Each and every one of you are going to be able to follow me through. If you want to go to our website, you can see that. As I scroll down here, it's going to talk about turning your pipeline into profits and kind of how that workflow goes, including the RealNext VR. Some of the great marketing collateral that we can do now is we can do real campaigns, and we're able to do real campaigns not only outside of Marketplace, but we're also going to be able to do it inside of RealNext CRM. So real campaigns are going to be company branded email campaigns that you're going to be able to easily create within a matter of minutes or even seconds, depending on what your creation is. So any one of your available listings, simply check that email box and you're going to create an email campaign. You'll be able to create a pre-designed template, a do-it-yourself, or a flyer, and you're going to be able to track all your statistics like you can in a MailChimp or Constant Contact, but now right built in our system. You can even email our list of users. So our list of users will allow you to hit a broader market on a nationwide, metropolitan, or a simple statewide area. So we do have the email marketing for the campaigns. We also have the for lease and for sale flyers for all your marketing collateral. We can customize these, or you can customize them yourself by simply selecting what cover page, whether you want a portrait, landscape, if you want pictures here, there, or everywhere. Add your own customized text as well as custom information. That information can pull from Marketplace as well as it can pull from the CRM if you're using RealNext CRM. Two examples, one is a for sale property, one is for lease with your available spaces on there. And again, you can customize your colors, logo, and so forth. Simple and nice brochures you're going to be able to create, whether it's 1 page, 2 pages, or multiple page brochures, landscape, and portrait. So this is a great way to be able to now get your foot in the door with an owner, market a property properly, create a nice broker opinion of value, and use our retail mapping. One of our new additions to retail mapping just came out this morning. I don't even think Jeff knows about it, but we now have the ability to increase the size of your logos. So if you want to have giant logos and no text, or if you want to have all text and no logos, and we do give you these logos right inside of our system, so we're able to create those beautiful retail mapping centers with it. So if you simply go to realnext.com, click on product, you'll be able to see all these different brochures and marketing collateral. We want to be able to take that marketing collateral, we want to be able to win that deal, and then with that, we want to be able to track that information, report on it, so forth. So one of the ideas is to create that beautiful collateral, win that deal, and once we win that deal, turn that listing presentation of broker and opinion of value into a nice offering memorandum by simply logging into Market Edge and clicking reports, or you want to pick layouts. If you have a saved layout, you can easily change that marketing collateral from just a listing presentation, just a flyer, brochure, into a beautiful marketing package. This information then integrates right into our marketplace, can integrate into your website. You can integrate videos as well as VR virtual tours in here. So if I click on this, I'll be able to click into a VR virtual tour that we can easily create for you. You have flip books that you can share with your clients. Nice pro forma, and we give you all your cash flows, 5-year, 7-year, 10-year, 20-year. And as this renders up right here, you can see all the graphs and charts that it gives you. Once we have this, we can then, again, push it to Marketplace to your website, embed a new VR, create a private and secure deal room that can control all your due diligence information in 7 levels of security. Inside the CRM, you have the ability to create a project pipeline. In that, you're going to be able to create an email marketing campaign and track your opens, clicks, and opt-outs, create groups back in them, and then ultimately create that client or marketing report using the project section of the CRM system. Inside that project section, you're going to be able to keep track of all your leads, all your property tours, all your history and activities, all that information right inside your deal. You're going to be able to easily see that information right inside this section right here. You're able to print that out within a matter of minutes when it comes to that side of that property. Now, when you're creating a project, what's nice about creating that project in there, and I unfortunately cannot show you the project section, is when you create that, it's going to track your leads, it's going to track your history. You can create these sections called timelines. It's like this awesome workflow that can notify you and anybody else on your team with that. You can attach unlimited documents. You can attach all your commissions. So all your people are going to get paid. Maybe it's going to be Michael, Kristen, Lucy are all getting paid on this one deal here. I can put my commissions and my commission splits in there. But what if I want to run a report to see what my commissions were in the last 3 months, 6 months? What if we have certain escalations, or what if we have multiple people in the deal and now we got to cut a check to a third-party broker or to a sign company or something else? What happens in that scenario? Well, you're probably going into QuickBooks or using some kind of Excel program, or you're writing it down on the back of a napkin to get a check cut from accounting inside of your system. Well, now inside of RealNext, we can not only help keep track of that marketing collateral, we're going to be able to help keep track of the proposals, all your marketing reports, your client reporting, but we're also now going to be able to send that information with a nice, easy connection into Delius. Once your account is set up with Delius and RealNext, we're going to walk you through the process of how to go ahead and get a special key set up. And what you'll see was when you're right inside projects inside the CRM system, you're going to see a little section that says send to Delius. Once you click that button, it's going to take the information from the fields over into Delius, including the space, the property, the owner information, who would be the seller, potential buyer information. It'll take Lucy's information, Michael's and Manny's and Nick's, put that information into Delius. So it gives you a tremendous head start to start using that commission system. Because to me, honestly, I really don't care about being in the commission side of things. I just want to be in the side of things of producing, as I'm a producer. And now what's going to be able to help out is help out your accounting team, your CFO, your controller. If you have a sales manager or anybody else, they're going to be able to see that on a global organization scale. They can see it on the local organization scale. They can see independence. And you're never going to have to ask, like, where's the check and what's going on with the check? And Sam's going to tell you a little bit more about how that kind of picks up. But you can imagine creating that marketing collateral, taking the deal to market, and now you've closed the deal. You don't want to have to re-enter the information, and Delius is going to stop you from having to re-enter that information in. So in a quick second here, Sam is going to go through and kind of walk you through it. The neat thing is I've used this integration yesterday, and when I did, I simply hit send to Delius, and when I went into send to Delius, it brought me right into the pipeline section that Sam is showing you here, and it had my information, and it was phenomenal as it brought in the information that I needed to get brought in, and now my controller can take over from here, where I didn't have to worry about anything, and my controller loved it because they got everything they needed in order to get me that check and get everyone paid. So Sam, without rambling too much, why don't you take over on some of that, and then let's not forget how to tell everybody how they can get set up if they have their Delius account and RealNext account today, how we can get them set up within in a 24 to 48 hour time frame so they can start using this.
Matt, thanks for that. The presentation was awesome. Can everybody hear me okay? Matt?
You're loud and clear, Sam.
Yeah,
right,
sorry,
great.
Sam, I muted myself there.
Everybody can see my screen share, correct?
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous, and it looks good there. So don't forget to send me that commission check on the Broadway holding deal you still owe me.
I got you. Don't worry. You'll be email notified once we get that payment. So just a bit about Delius before we hop right on in here. Delius, we are built on a Microsoft Azure platform, so you're getting Microsoft level securities with Delius. We are device friendly, so if you're using your cell phone, your laptop, PC, tablet, it's going to work on all those devices as you see it today. We have 3 user login types. The first one being the admin role, which has access to the entire system, pipeline, contacts, agent. Our next login type is our broker/agent login, and each agent has access to their own pipelines and all the transactions they're specifically working on. And lastly, we have our assistant roles. So if you have people supporting your agents and supporting your admin, you want them to do data entry, but you don't want them to see any type of sensitive or financial information, that's what the assistant role is used for. So as Matt was saying, once you push over a deal into Delius, it's going to show up right in your pipeline as an active deal. So this is the deal me and Matt were working on earlier. So we're just going to go in here, show you all the data we collect, how to update this transaction, and ultimately how to close it out. So let's just go right in here. And at the top, as you can see, we have our overview, our documents, notes, and tasks. We'll go over those individually real quick. But again, off to the right here, we have our summary. So up top here is our probability bar. If you're on board with Delius, this is customizable. So you can put in your own probabilities with your own terminologies associated with it. Right below, you have your financial summary. As you can see, your transaction totals, your house gross, outside gross, broker splits, any type of expenses. You can update your probability manually. So if you're the agent working the deal, you have a stronger or lesser feeling about it, you can make that adjustment. You can adjust your closing date manually, and this will all autosave for you. As you scroll down, it shows you the agents that are logged in this transaction, whether they're internal or external. Any type of vendors you might have you working on here, whether it be lawyers or engineers, you can add their contact information and the client information at the bottom. So again, we're logged in as the admin right now, so we can see everything that's going on. So once you push this deal into Delius, the great thing here is that all this information here will auto-populate for you. So there is no double data entry involved. It's really quick, really convenient, and intuitive. So as you can see up top here, we have our property name, the property type, just basically general information, square footage, building size. As you can see, we uploaded a photo here. We can pinpoint it on the map. Of course, the address. As we scroll down, we have the property details. And whatever property type that you select up top here, the relevant fields will apply down in the property details. And as you can see, again, general information, square footage, number of floors, any kind of tenants involved, the rates, frequency, payments. Below that, we have our transaction information. And again, space type, the asking price, the billing information. We also track your deal source, where your business is coming from, and we also track your submarkets to see what areas you're predominantly doing business in. As we scroll down, again, all this information will auto-populate for you, the seller information. And if you happen to start a transaction within Delius, again, you can also auto-populate this information as long as you're in the system, whether it's a listing or contacts. As we scroll down, the seller contact details, you can add multiple contacts here if need be. Same logic applies in the buyer information. Buyer contact details, again, you can add multiple contacts in here. If we were to have any vendors working this transaction, whether it be lawyers, engineers, you can add their information in here. Depending on the transaction type, whether it's a lease or a sales, we plug in our estimated closing date. And if it's a sale transaction, you can track all of your due diligence and things that need to get done. And you can check them off and mark them when they're completed, whose responsibilities, parties, and the date that they were completed. So again, it helps with your workflow as well. Below that, again, we have our financial details. Again, same information, you just plug in the purchasing price, the fees, commissions, and so forth. And right below that, we have our broker commissions. Another great thing about Delius is that we can account for as many internal or external agents involved in a transaction. But the great thing in here is behind the scenes, whatever commission split or structure your agents are on, we plug in those splits and structures for you. So that way, when the transaction closes out, Delius tracks and calculates all the numbers and calculates the payments for you as well. We also give the users a lot of flexibility here in the admin section. We have a set split function here because we understand not all deals work the same. So as you can see in this instance, Amy's split with the house is 65-35. For any instance, if she's getting a higher or lesser amount, the admin can come in here, set a custom split for Amy, and it's not going to affect her overall commission structure. Again, we give the user a lot of flexibility. Below that, we have our payments. Delius can account for as many payments involved in a transaction. Of course, if it's one, no biggie, but if you're expecting maybe 10 to 20 payments, you can create payment schedules. And all it's very simple. We're just clicking our payment schedule here. You just put in a start date of the payment, frequency of the payment, and how many payments you're expecting, and click generate. And that way, again, we're saving a lot of data entry for you. Save time there. And lastly, we have our expenses. Delius can account for any type of deal-related expenses involved. As you can see here, the example is a marketing expense is a banner for $1,000. the agents are splitting it 50-50, and now the house can contribute or not by a percentage or a specific dollar amount. So that way, when this deal closes out and it's time to pay your agents, you'll see if there's any additions or deductions that need to be made. So that's our overview tab. We'll head right into our documents tab next. So if you decide to onboard with Delius, you can have required documents in place in order to close out a transaction, or the transaction won't close. So this acts as your part of your closing process. Not only that, but this also acts as your documents vault. So when this deal does close out, and for any reason an admin needs to come back in here to see, hey, what documents were associated with this, they can come in here, all your documents will be there, and you can open them and view them. And again, you can have as many requirements as you like, as many as you like, and you get 50 megs per file, so you get a lot of space as well. Next, we have our notes tab. Again, we like to keep the lines of communication open when there's multiple agents working a deal. As you can see here, the admin here posted, hey, closing's on 4/20. Whoever else is working this transaction will be email notified that, hey, so-and-so published a note, go check it out. And lastly, we have our tasks tab. Again, we like to keep the lines of communication open and keep your workflow going. So something needs to be done, multiple agents working on there. You don't want 3 or 4 agents contacting a client for the same thing. A task can be assigned to a certain individual, and people can follow along to see whether it's in progress and when it's completed. So that wraps up our overview, documents, and notes and task tab. To close out a deal, really simple. We're just going to hit our close deal icon there, and it's going to take you right to the deal abstract, basically everything that we've just done. You can print this out as a hard copy for your files, for your records. You can also print out invoices prior to closing if need be. But again, it gives you a summary of everything that we've just completed. It gives you your financial summary up top, the buyer, seller information, the documents that we've uploaded, the property information, your deal information, your important dates, and the brokers that were involved. Now, the great thing about Delius here is our security levels. So since Amy is the lead agent on this deal and she initiates the closing process, when she logs in here, she's only going to see her own financial information. She's not going to see bills, and she's also going to see the outside brokers. She just sees that they're splitting at 60-40. If all looks good, all looks well, she's going to submit closing. And then it's going to slide over the bill. Again, same logic. Bill's going to log in here. He's not going to see Amy's financials or the outside agents, just his own. Again, if all looks good, all looks well, everything is on the up and up, he's going to submit it to closing. Now, when clients on board with Delius, they determine who is the final approver. So that could be, managing director, CFO, COO, whoever they choose to be, and you could have multiple approvers. Once the final approver logs in here, again, if all looks good, they can close it out, and this will close out, generate over into accounting, and your invoice will be auto-generated for you. If something doesn't look right here, the final approver can reject it, plug in a note that, hey, this needs to be fixed. And again, the agents can redo the process, make their corrections, and resubmit it for closing. Admins can also close out deals on behalf of agents for any reason. If the agent is not available, they can't get in here, the admins can close out on their behalf. And once a transaction is closed out, the agents can view the transaction, but they cannot make any changes. The only person that can come in here and make a change is somebody who has admin access. So once we close out a deal, we'll take you right into accounting. And we start off with our financial summary, and that's exactly what that means. It shows you up to the right year-to-date production and your open account summary. We'll start off with our invoices. So I've downloaded a couple of invoices to show you what that looks like. When you're in here, you can view the invoice, download it, and email it directly from the system. Here's one invoice. This is a lease transaction. When clients onboard with Delius, it is your company logo up top here with your company information and your general information in the invoice, who it's going to, the tenant, property name, landlord, the rep type, who the broker was, building info, and you can choose or not to put the lease agreement in the invoice. And again, that's up to you, how you guys do your business, or this doesn't need to be there. There's a toggle in our system for that. You can choose to include or not include your wiring instructions, your remit to, and your payments. And it shows you a nice running total of when things are due, what's been paid, and what's outstanding. And on a sales invoice, again, it's very similar. Your company logo will be up top with your information. Again, general information, who it's going to, buyer, property, seller, invoice, the sale value, commission percentages. Again, you can choose to include or not include the wiring instructions you will remit to, and again, the amount received. Heading back into accounting, if we were to email an invoice directly from the system, very simple. We're just clicking our little envelope right there. Your invoice will already be attached. You can upload multiple files if need be. Your billing contact info will already be in the system. You can choose to CC your agents on there if not, and the subject and the body are all customizable. But the really cool thing here is if you decide to send emails from Delius, they're not going to come from Delius. It's going to be your native email that'll be up top here. And when you send that email out, it'll show up in your outbox, timestamped, and it'll be there for your records. Heading back into the accounting piece, we'll head into receivables. To receive a payment, really simple. We have some multiple logic built in here. You can accept a full payment. You can take a partial payment. You can roll over open balances. You can re-invoice. And you can also clear out open balances in case you have an old invoice or maybe something you're not going to get paid on. But if you're going to clear out an open balance, you're just going to use that little $ there, and it shows you how it affects everyone's financials if you decide to clear out something that's open. To accept a payment, very simple. We're just clicking our little notepad right there. And it's very, as you can see, you just plug in the date that was paid, your payment method that you're getting paid, a reference number, and the amount that you're getting paid. Obviously, if you get the full amount, that's great. If you get a partial, that's also good. You can re-invoice or roll over the open balance. On a worst case scenario, if it's an old invoice or something you're not getting paid on, you would just plug in 0 and it'll take you through the right. Another great thing about Delius is that once you plug in that a payment was accepted and made in the system, your brokers who are working the transaction are email notified that, hey, a payment was just received and they should be expecting payment shortly. So that way, again, they're not asking you, hey, did we get paid? Hey, when we're getting paid? We're taking out a little bit of stress for you there too. So the last piece is our payables when we're ready to pay everybody. Again, same logic is built in here. Clear out open balances. Again, we're just using our little notepad right here. You can print out, if you click print all, you can print out a pay stub or a voucher for your agents. Again, same concept, date that it was paid, the payment method, reference number, the amount that you're paying them. And the great thing here is you can choose to pay all your brokers at once or individually, up to you, however you guys do your business. And if there's any deductions that need to be made or additions, they'll be listed here at the bottom. So if you do have to take out money, you can take it out all at once. Or again, if your agents are receiving multiple commission payments, you can choose to take it out a little bit at a time, again, however you're doing your business. Another great thing about Delius is that we also are integrated with QuickBooks Online. So for those of you online users here, as you can see, the QB status, it says success. It shows you these accounts are linked. And if you want a little overview of this tab, we just click on success and it'll give you the client, the deal info, kind of transaction it is, the due date, and so forth. So again, and if you're not an online QuickBooks user, it may be something great to look into as well. So that covers our accounting piece. Next, we go into our reports. So since we track multiple facets of your business, this is our static reporting library. And as you can see, they're all titled here and the descriptions are right next to it. And with all these reports, you can run them company-wide. You can run them by brokers and individual brokers, by transaction status and so forth. So it gives everybody a bit to play with if they want to go in here and create independent reports. Again, this is an admin function that only admins can print out, and they can do it for their agents as well. And you can email these reports directly from the system. And again, it will not come from Delius, it'll come from your native email. So that wraps up our back office stuff. I'm gonna quick show you one of our contact management pieces. It is our Outlook plugin. Let me just take you there real quick. Guys, can you still see my screen share?
Yep, I can still see it loud and clear, my friend.
All right, thank you, Matt. So we partnered with Microsoft to build this plugin. There's some AI going on here, and this plugin also works with Gmail in case you're not a Microsoft user. So what's going on here is once you have a contact within Delius and you get an email from that contact, Delius will pull up any type of active or historical deals that you have if you've worked on them with anything. So as you can see, Christina Green, she's in our system. We've been working on her with a lot of things here. And she just sent us an email regarding the Nike Office deal we're working on with Christina. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna find our Nike Office deal that we're working on with Christina, and we're going to open it up. Now what this does, this gives the agents to work and manage their deals from inbox to invoice. So we can come in here and make some updates here. As you can see, we can update our probability. So we're going to take that to hard money. Now this is all happening in real time here. I'm the agent working this deal with Christina. I say, hey, this deal is going to close. I'm going to up my probability. All right, maybe our closing date got pushed back a day or two. Make that adjustment, and then it shows you who's involved in the transaction, the internal and external brokers. But the great part about the plugin here is in the documents section. When you receive emails, dealers will recognize any type of attachments that's involved with this email. And we understand agents are always getting floor plans, LOIs, pictures and so forth. So instead of having to upload, download, logging in, logging out, we want to attach these attachments to our transaction deal. So we're just going to click these little plus buttons. And it's going to attach these documents to our transaction in real time. We took it a step further and added our notes tab. So for instance, when I'm on the phone with Christina, I can type in some notes here quick, or so things that I may not forget, and post them. Say for instance, this subject and the body of this email is really important. I don't want to sit here and type all day, so I'm just going to copy and paste this entire email and post it right into the transaction. So now all we have to do is, to get into Delius, we're just going to click our little arrow widget there. It's going to take us right into our Nike deal. And as you can see, we updated our probability to hard money. We updated it manually to 90%. We updated our closing date. If we go to our Documents tab, as you can see, the files we've just uploaded gives you a timestamp, who did it. And again, if there's multiple agents working on this deal, they're going to be email notified that, hey, so-and-so just uploaded documents, go check them out. In our Notes tab, our little test email that we just put together, and the subject and body of the email. So again, we're letting you work efficiently, we're improving your workflow, and we're allowing your agents, to try to get it out there and make some money, because we understand nobody lives in Delius. So not only can we manage and update our deals right from our inbox, we can also manage our contacts. So if we go in here and go into our contacts piece, as you can see, Christina's already in our system. She's a contact in Delius as well as Outlooks according to the widget. Now, if any information here is a mismatch, there'll be a red dot in front of one of these icons here. And now we do not do an auto sync, only for the fact that we don't want to determine what you guys are using as your system of record. So if anything's not a match, you just got to go in there manually and just make that change and adjustment. But also, as you can see, Amy and Frank are also CC'd on this email, and they're not in either of our systems. They're not in Delius, and they're not in Outlook. So all we got to do here is hit that little blue add icon, and we just label them, we tag them, we put in their general information. Once I click save, now Amy is now in Delius as well as Outlook. So again, we're helping you guys work a little bit more efficiently. So that wraps up our Outlook plugin. I just want to show you one more thing here. It's going to take you to our dashboard view here when you log into Delius. Again, we're looking at the admin. So right now we're looking at the entire company's pipeline. Again, when the agent logs in, it's just going to reflect their own pipeline, nothing outside of that. But once you log into Delius, it brings you right to the dashboard. And what we're looking at here at the top, all the deals within the pipeline that have a 70% chance or higher of closing within the next 30, 60, 90 days. It shows you your year-to-date closed deal value, your year-to-date commission closed, and all of your open receivables, all the lease space represented, sales space represented, all the active deals within the pipeline, any expiring listings that are coming up within the next 30 days, any lease renewals that are coming up within the next 30 days, your house commissions paid year to date, all of your deals that are pending approval, any contract deadlines pending, and that's to do with your sales transaction. And this is a new feature that we've just started. It's called Untitled Leads. We've partnered up with OfficeSpace.com, and what this will do, this will send leads into your pipeline of existing properties that are on the market, and that way you can assign them to your agents if you'd like. And again, this is a free feature that we offer. We don't charge anything extra for that. As the admin, you have access to your leaderboard. It shows you your top 4 producers, and you can expand on that by just clicking the leaderboard. It'll bring up all of your agents, do a nice little flow of what's going on in their world regarding their financials, their 30, 60, 90-day forecast. And each admin and as well as the agents have access to their own individual profiles. It's great info for everybody to have. We have our active deals panel, and that basically is all the top 10 active deals within your pipeline, and you can break that down any which way you like by just clicking the toggles at the top. Say I just want to do with probability. It'll sort it out any which way you see fit, and you can go in here and check out these transactions and see what's going on. Our latest task has to do with our contact management piece. It acts as your to-do list, sends you reminders and so forth of what needs to get done. Our notifications panel, we understand nobody lives in the system. So Delius will send you email reminders of things that need to get done or things that are coming up, so that way nothing's forgotten. And also we have an office leaderboard. Delius can account for as many offices as you may have, whether it's 1, 10, 20. So that pretty much wraps up our high-level overview. I'm going to hand it over to Obi and Jeff to see if you guys have any Q&A, and they can help answer it for you.
Thanks so much, Sam. Really appreciate it. Great coverage of that platform, and Matt, excellent orientation to the marketing side. So we have some time for questions. If anyone has any, glad to delve into some of the aspects in greater detail, or make sure you have the full understanding of what can be done here. But the beauty of it is you basically build a project in RealNex, and all of the information there with the press of a button is going to come right over into Delius, into marketing. So very efficient workflow and driving both sides of the house, from front office to back office. Obi, was there anything that you saw that you wanted to focus on?
No, I think from just the user experience standpoint, I think just for the audience here is that the beauty of this is that it is sort of fully integrated, which means that the data now is a one point of entry versus having to dual enter things, and it sort of works with the natural flow of how you work a transaction from prospecting to trying to convert that opportunity to a project, which then turns into a within your pipeline, and then eventually closing it out, and it all sort of flows naturally at different touch points. Again, with a keen eye, I think from our perspective was just the user experience and not overly complicating or making the system too clunky, with both systems integrating as well.
Perfect. So if anyone has an interest, talk to either, if you're a Delius client, reach out to Sam. He can give you a more thorough personal demo, and you can reach out to your sales representative at RealNex. If you're a RealNex CRM client or want to be, we can show you how the workflow works and would work for your particular case, and how the alignment of all the data would flow from one to the other. So we thank you all for joining us today, and unless there's anything that comes in the next second, we will wrap up for this afternoon and let you get back to it. Thanks, Sam. Thanks, Matt. And Obi, as always, we appreciate you and the opportunity to work together.
Thanks everybody. Have a great week.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure, guys. Thank you.